This video is about migrating enterprise phones to MPP, and in this video we're going to take a look at an improvement to the MPP licensing so that you can generate a license independent of the device activation process. So I'll go down to updates and migrations, and I will select the migrate enterprise phones to MPP. And what we see here when I start a new task is that we have an addition to the drop-down menu. So in the past it was simply generate device license and add device. But with this new parameter, generate device license only, we have the ability to associate the license with the device's MAC address in the cloud. And then in the future, when you are ready to migrate, you can migrate the firmware. So again, this allows you to generate the firmware license and then activate the device at a later date. Now, it is important to point out that the license is tied to an org. So if the device is added later on at any time to the same org, it should work. However, if added to a different org, this process should be repeated. So I'm going to click Next, and then here we have a CSV template. Let's take a look at that. So here is the default CSV template, and I can of course replace this, but you'll notice that what isn't here is the user's name. So we can do all of that at a later date. So I'm going to change this to match the phone that is in front of me. So we have uploaded the CSV template. Now you can see here that 1 was added, 0 errors, total uploaded. I'll click Next. And so now it is actually validating its eligibility, and as you can see, it is eligible. I can also download a record of the status right here if I needed to look at that at a later date. And so now we are effectively done, and now I can click the button Prepare for Migration. And this will generate the actual device licenses for me. So I'll click OK. And now you can see the status of the migration is currently in progress. And after a short time, the status will change to Ready for Migration. Now, let's assume a few days have passed and you are now ready to migrate this device. Let's further assume that the phone MAC is already assigned to the end user by now. So we simply click on the Complete Migration button, and we are now ready to move on to the next step. So as you can see, we have two options. One is the autocomplete and one is to manually complete. So what are the differences? Autocomplete is only available if cloud-connected UC is set up, the device MAC is already assigned to the user, and the phone is already registered with UC Manager. You can also see we can select the cluster and the location of the TFTP server. For the manually complete, you can certainly use alternate TFTP or DHCP options provided by the Cloud Upgrader at upgrade.cisco.com. If you have phones already registered to UC Manager, you may want to follow the approach listed here. The first step is to download the text files containing the MAC list of the devices that are eligible to migrate and the license generated. The second is to make sure the devices have wired connectivity to ensure automatic migration, meaning that you don't have Wi-Fi enabled. And the third is to upload those text files containing device names to UC Manager in order to start the migration process. And that is the overview on the license-only device generation enhancement.